Full time at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 3, Arsenal 1. Very nearly a reversal of the fixture in September. Um, it's the end of Arsenal's title challenge, certainly 12 points off Chelsea now, and we are right in the midst of a battle to qualify for the top four. I mean, I have no energy or enthusiasm at all to be excited about that, to care about that. Like I'm sure many of you watching, I'm bored of this, seemingly endless purgatorial task of trying to finish in those top four places. But it probably is more important than ever before when you think of the contractual situations of Alexis, Mesut Ozil, and the manager. But for this season, the title is gone. We weren't close to Chelsea today. I mean, they are the best side in the country. They've proven that. And we just were not able to compete, really. It was interesting how we tried to deal with them. There was at least a tactical shift in the way we lined up. Alex Iwobi started in the centre alongside Oxlade-Chamberlain and Coquelin in a midfield three with Ozil wide, hoping to live with Kante and Matic. But once we went behind, that plan really went out the window. Ozil quickly switched back in field and Iwobi went out to the left. The opening goal, for me, shouldn't have stood. I think it was a foul by Marcos Alonso on Hector Bellerin. As he jumps, he kind of elbows him like that with his forearm. I was surprised that not more people were talking about it in that way. A lot of people saying, well, that's just how you jump. But, that doesn't matter. Think about a foul given for high foot. That's just how you kick. But it's still dangerous. It's, I think whether or not it's deliberate actually isn't the issue. I think if the penalty we conceded with the Granit Xhaka swung an elbow like that, and it was like, well, he didn't mean it. And I actually was on the side of, well, it doesn't matter if he meant it. You can't do that. It's a foul. I get it. We all like goals. We want to see goals stand. And it may have been brave of Alonso. That doesn't matter. It's still a foul. It's brave to go into a 50-50. But if your foot is high or you arrive late, it's still a foul. If he jumped with the goalkeeper, if Petr Cech hadn't decided to have a brief lie down once Diego Costa hit the bar, if that had been Cech and Alonso, absolutely a free kick would be given. If it happened elsewhere on the pitch, absolutely a free kick would be given. Bellerin was shorter, but that's not really the issue. Alonso jumps with his arm outstretched like that, takes him out before he arrives. It's very, very definitely a foul. And I found it bizarre that more people didn't see it that way. Don't know. I think I'm in a minority. A minority primarily of Arsenal fans. Another thing, I think that the reason that people talk about it in that way is because it fits the narrative, doesn't it? That Arsenal are soft and they've lost out in a physical challenge, and Chelsea were brave, and it's a good story, but it's not what happened. Bellerin was fouled, and we lost him. And someone tweeted, and I do agree with this, that if a player has to leave the pitch for concussion, you shouldn't lose a sub for that, because it should be a precautionary thing to withdraw the player. I don't know. Obviously, it's open to abuse, but I think it's an interesting idea. That said, I don't want to make too many excuses, because in reality, had Alonso not committed a foul, he probably could still have scored. He's a foot taller than Bellerin. He would have got there anyway. Arsenal were already in big, big trouble before that point. The defending was awful. Theo Walcott particularly culpable, seeing his man run into the box and just letting him go. And we saw Aaron Ramsey do that the other day. It's a disease at Arsenal, really. And you wouldn't get it at Chelsea to the same extent. Nevertheless, there were some decent signs in the first half. Gabriel should have scored. Free header. Got in at 1-0 at half-time. Some hope that we might be able to get back into it. But Eden Hazard scored the second goal. An absolutely brilliant individual piece of skill, running from the halfway line and clipping over Cech. But a litany of Arsenal errors. And you have to say, for every great solo dribble, there's usually a few defenders at fault. You think of Thierry Henry against Liverpool. He made Jamie Carragher look like an idiot. We praise that Henry goal, but we don't criticise Carragher. Coquelin played the Carragher role this time. He ought to have brought Hazard down. Koscielny ought to have stood up or taken him down outside the box. He backed off. Brilliant goal from Hazard, who was outstanding, but Arsenal need to look at themselves there too. And the third, I mean, Cech with the assist, passing it straight to Cesc Fabregas, who lifted it over him into the empty net. I like Peter Cech. I do wonder, should a team who always want to play out from the back in the way Arsenal do be playing with a goalkeeper who is so poor on the ball? If you think about it, our centre-backs continually give away possession. Shelny, Mustafi, it happened a lot today. Is that partly because they can't go back to Cech? Because he can't involve himself in the passing game? Maybe. We got a consolation, Olivier Giroud, proving he is a super sub. Both he and Danny Welbeck actually had pretty positive impact. Aside from that, Arsenal were awful all over the park. I probably should touch on the two stars, Ozil and Alexis. It's probably not fair to single people out, but it's because I expect more of them. They're our best players, and we're talking about paying them a huge amount of money. And both were super disappointing today. Alexis looked like he didn't trust his teammates, wouldn't release the ball, selfish at times. Ozil, peripheral, and he hasn't played well for a little bit of time now. And I don't think he's delivering against, the salary demands he supposedly has. I mean, if you compare them to N'Golo Kante, I mean, very different player, but Kante is everything that Arsenal are. He's selfless, he's efficient, he's energetic, he's got fight, he's an astute defender, he's intelligent. Wow, what we do for a player like that. And, there are mitigating factors. We didn't have any midfielders today. Gary Neville kept saying, you can't line up with this midfielder at Chelsea. Well, we don't have much choice. It's not that we don't have midfielders, they're not available. But anyway, poor all round, terrible result, bad day, end of the league challenge. And if we don't make top four, I mean, I dread to think what it'll be like. Full scale revolt. This is one of the longest of these I'm going to have done. I'm going to stop now before I depress you any further.